All right, everyone. We are getting ready. I don't like looking down. Okay, I'm gonna have to make some changes here. I need to see what this looks like. So I know there is a delay, and I gotta make some adjustments here. And okay, so we are live, and welcome to an important conversation. I am Miss Felicia Muhammad, your personal development facilitator and shit shifter, right? And also Chief Bliss Officer of Oneness Wellness Lifestyles. And so let me not skip over the shit shifter because that is an acronym for self healing and talk. So I support you with being able to know how to activate the body's ability to self heal and transform the limiting beliefs that keep you stuck in relationships, with your finances, and your health. And so at Oneness Lifestyle, we embody a totalistic approach to your well-being, right? And we provide you with, and for the past 27 years, we have been at the forefront providing cutting edge technology to empower you to know how to activate the body's ability to heal at whatever level you are at. So if you are a newbie, you've never heard of this before, it seems all woo-woo-ish, you know, we got something for you too. And if you at the highest levels of consciousness and require support, because we know the healers always need healers, right? And we have you too. So wherever you are on the scale, we have support for you. All right, so let's see if our guest is here because we are going to be having this conversation. Am I turning the right way? Okay, here we go. So, featuring today, we have Miss Pshanda Pugh, and she is our resident anti-therapy therapist. Okay. And she definitely empowers you with being able to get clear, get that mental health in check. All right, have your mental health in check. Where's my remote guest tool? Okay, hold on, y'all. Oh, she's here.
Hello, ma'am.
Hey, how you doing?
I am good.
Okay, hold on. Let me get you up. Let me get you up
Okay.
here. Let me get you up here. So we're gonna have this one and this one. All right. Okay, select. Okay. So let's see. We should be ready now to add you. Okay, we got A and we got B. Yay! Woohoo! There you are. So wonderful to be here with you to have this conversation. So this
Thank
is
you for
our
having me.
yeah. You know this what we doing together. So you know, um, we having a conversation. Are somebody
Okay.
really knocking at my door right now? Like really? Somebody is knocking at my door. Okay, so in real time, this is what we have here. So We have the holiday mental care checklist live with Miss Pshanda Pugh of Pshanda Heals. So, Miss Pshanda, please introduce yourself and we will get right into the conversation.
Hello, my name is Pshanda Pugh. I am a licensed professional counselor. I am nationally certified. I practice in North and South Carolina with my traditional therapy practice. And now we are, launching and we're nationwide with Pshanda Heals, which is life coaching. So you can get the services and you can get the assistance that you need without having to be just in the South. So hopefully I can be the, I guess the guru when it comes to being able to deal with grief and loss and all the extraness that comes along with the holiday season. So, and a lot of this stuff is from actual experience and actual firsthand knowledge, not necessarily what came out of all of the education that I'm still paying people for.
All right, all right, all right. So you can expect more. So I want you to take the opportunity and go to Facebook, follow Pshanda Heals on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I think on TikTok it's Pshanda.heals, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
follow on LinkedIn, right?
Mhm.
And because again, you are definitely in for a treat with being able to receive real, and this is a different type of therapy. That's why I said she's the anti-therapy therapist, because she does it different. She just don't You just don't come and sit and she just listen to you talk. It's not that cookie cutter therapy, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
you'll get a chance to see today how she do what she do. And better yet, you'll have an opportunity to be able to schedule a complimentary session to see if Pashanda can support you, see if you all are fit for each other. All right.
Mhm.
And so we thank you in advance for all the support that you will be providing with us and sharing her with your friends and your family. If she's not a fit for you, you might know someone that, oh yeah, she'll be a good vibe for my partner over
Mhm.
here, my girl over here, or my mom, or my dad, or my cousin, right? So yeah, we definitely want you to be able to share that information. So Pashanda, tell them a little bit about the whole point of us being here today is we want to share with
Mhm.
you what's happening during the holidays. So
Okay.
give them some of the bullet points that we're going to be talking about, and we will be taking your questions. So you can put your questions in the chat, and then we have a few questions that have been submitted.
Okay. Some of the biggest things that you're going to encounter during the holidays when it comes to grief and loss, especially being that, when it's your first year without your loved one, dealing with all the changes and the transitions that come.
Mhm.
Because, of course, this holiday and the excitement and all the joy of Christmas does not feel and look the same anymore because now you're walking into a completely new normal. And this is one of those new normals that we didn't ask for, we didn't volunteer for. This is not new year, new me kind of stuff. This is I'm stuck with this. I don't like it, and I'm kicking and screaming my way through it because I have to. So a lot of the emotions that come up when it comes to dealing with grief and loss, in the very beginning, what it looks like, how you experience it, what we need to do to be able to handle it and process through it. So those are some of the things we're going to hit on. Also, people who are at this time of year when it's the giving season, who are gived out, and they have been given to everybody, and they have been the one to go to for everybody else, and they have been everybody else's, strength and shoulder to lean on. And now you find yourself in a position where you're depleted, and that reality that shifts and hits us when we realize and we recognize that we are not getting the same thing back that we've been giving out. So that's a couple of the things I think we're going to hit on today.
All right, cool, cool, cool. So hold on, let's see, where am I? There we go. There we go. Here we go. Yes.
Okay.
All right. So Um, all right, so let's get to it because I was doing some research,
Hmm.
and this year it was stating that it's about 84% of the people that are feeling lonely, and especially men. Men.
Hmm.
I found that ironic. It was a lot of men, according to the research, and I'll make sure I have those stats right,
Hmm.
that were feeling lonely and dealing with, grief. Not
Yes.
necessarily just losing someone, but it was
Hmm.
grief, and 84% of the men are feeling lonely. So, can you talk about that, because we want to be able to provide, as we stated, a checklist, for people to be able to do their own mental checklist through this season, as they are navigating and getting with family, and even those that don't have family. So can you talk a little bit about that,
Um,
and share some of, even some of what your clients have been experiencing?
Yeah. Well, men are certainly one of those populations that kind of go under the radar because, of course, they're men and they're not supposed to have all these intense feelings. That's emotional. That's women stuff. Women, men don't have all that stuff. Men can handle things better, which is absolutely not true. We are typically socialized and we socialize our children to be in a space where boys don't cry. We socialize them to maintain and withhold and to cut themselves off emotionally. And so as people get older, that upset, those emotions, those feelings end up coming out in a different way. And especially when it comes to grief and loss, a lot of men have a really hard time with their feelings, surprisingly. I'm sure most women realize that they really don't deal with their emotions very well
Mhm.
because, most people come into therapy, with their partner kicking and screaming, begging them to talk and open up and share. And I want to know what you're feeling. Then they don't actually, when they get into therapy to talk, they don't give them an opportunity to say anything. So
That's
that,
interesting.
oh yeah, yeah, they beg for you to talk. It's just like with us with babies. We can't wait for a baby to start talking, and then as soon as the baby starts yapping and talking and asking 50,000 questions, you can't wait for them to shut up. Um, and that's typically what happens with couples. You have this desire to hear, but when the person opens up and starts telling you things that you don't necessarily want to hear, and it's not going along with what you imagined it was going to sound like, then you shut down and you want to cut it off and you just want to be heard only. Um, a big thing that I see a lot of is men that have this complicated grief where, they have lost their parents, a mom, especially moms, dads, they've lost family members, they've lost friends, they've lost, even jobs, because
Mm-hmm.
especially with men, being the provider, being able to be financially stable is a huge, huge thing. And when they lose that opportunity, when they lose their financial stability and they go through this dry season and they go through this period of struggle, that emotionally takes a huge hit because who do you talk to? Who do
Mm-hmm.
you reach out to? Who can you go to that's going to actually pay attention and understand that you may be having a hard time. It does not equate to you not being a man. It does not equate to you being somebody who's not trying. So those are the things that come up. We also have a lot of because they hold the feelings in. Men really, 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 really struggle with opening up until they get to a breaking point. And a lot of times, the things that you see before they get to the breaking point is you see a lot of anger, you see a lot of acting out, whether that be through the multiple sexual partners, whether that be through drugs and alcohol, whether that be through just complete, having a lot of those internalized feelings and thoughts that
Mm-hmm.
they keep to themselves until it gets to that breaking point. So many people walk around with feelings of isolation and feeling like, where those suicidal ideations and things start to come in, and they
Mm-hmm.
just do behaviors that are risky behaviors. They're taking the chances. They're out here just doing random things. And then a lot of that stuff is done in silence. They're suffering in silence. They're trying to push through and manage in their silence. And, and it's one of those things to where when you suffer it so long, you don't know who to talk to, you don't know how to reach out, and it's going to get to a breaking point eventually. Thankfully I've been lucky to encounter a lot of men who have started coming to therapy, who've been reaching out because okay, Let's give it a try. Let's see if anything else will happen. Let's see how this goes. And, they have been the better for it because they found a safe place where
Mhm.
somebody is actually listening. It just takes some time to help them get to that point to be able to really feel safe to open up and talk.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm glad we are talking about that because as you stated, you know, most men don't think they should be talking to anybody and they don't have no issues. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, we all have issues. That's a
Yeah.
part of the human experience. We all have issues. We don't escape that. Just living every day, you're going to have problems. And it's not a sign of weakness to seek out help. It's not a sign of weakness to reach out and expand beyond just what you have accessible to you in your little circle. Because
Yeah.
that's what we typically do. We stay within our circle of who we know. That's also makes us, be quiet because these people know me. I already have watched how you've treated other people, so why am I going to open up myself to that? And why am I going to open up myself for scrutiny? Because you're going to throw this thing back at me later on.
Hmm.
So, therapy is a safe place where you can reach out, where you can get an opinion, where you could get some insight from somebody whose objective is there to help you, not to hurt or harm you, not to take advantage of you, not to use this stuff against you later.
Hmm.
It's a safe place for you to actually, and sometimes your family and the people around you are typically part of your problem. And, you need to be exposed to people who are going to tell you better. Because if I'm hanging around people who are doing all the same things, nobody is going to ever see a problem. It's not until you
Right.
get into different atmospheres and you encounter different individuals and you start to realize, like, oh, so this is not how it's supposed to look, and this is not how I'm supposed to feel, and this is not normal. And it's like, no, it's not normal.
So
A
can you
lot
give
of us
an
get caught
example
in
of
that.
that? Can you give
The
an
not
example of that?
normal stuff. Well, if you come from a family, let's say you're coming from a family of people who nobody likes to deal with their feelings, so everybody shuts down. And when issues and confrontation come up, everybody gets, somebody might blow up. So they, the cursing starts, the yelling, the screaming, the fussing, and then I walk away. Or we just avoid the conversation altogether. I can be mad at you. I'm just never going to talk to you about it. I'm not going to deal with you at all, and it's going to be that cut down. When you have individuals who, they come from families, as we, Southern people call it hard talkers. Those people who everything sounds really harsh,
Mm.
really rough. There's sometimes a lot of harsh language that goes along with it, and this is just how we talk. This is just how I'm talking to you on a regular basis, and it's a lot. It'll hurt your feelings if you coming from a place where that's not what you used to.
Mm-hmm.
When you walk outside of the world of your home environment or your space, then you start to realize, oh, hold up. So what I'm saying, you offended. It hurt your feelings, and I'm not supposed. I talk rough to you. I'm talking mean to you, and people do not understand. People, it takes a minute for people to get it. Um, I've had experience before where, working with kids in the school system, a
Mm-hmm.
young a young child comes into school and starts having issues. The child's not able to follow directions. The child's, you're having to do extra time to try to get their attention. They're having a hard time really processing and staying along with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Well, school happens, and as part of what they do is they do those checks. They have the kids come through and they check your eyes, they check the hearing and that kind of stuff. We'll come to find out, yeah, he has hearing loss. He's,
Mm.
he has a hearing defect going on. And it's like, when we go to the parents, like, oh, well, he hears me fine. We are on that. I ain't see no problem. He listened to me fine. Well,
Mm-hmm.
you know, comes to find out, you talk really loud. You talk really rough. So no, he's not having a problem talking to you because you screaming and you don't realize that you're screaming. It's just he walks into a space where people are talking in a normal tone. It's more difficult for him to hear and understand. And it can happen just that simply.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing anything intentionally. Nobody's doing anything where they're trying to be rough. It just you have adjusted yourselves to where, as mom, I'm talking louder.
Yeah.
It don't seem to be getting me, so I'm just gonna talk louder, and this becomes your day to day thing. And you miss out on the fact that there's a defect going on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting point. I'm glad you brought that up. Um, so we're gonna do our checklist point by
Okay.
point.
Okay.
So, what would be in this first segment that we just talked about? What
Hmm.
would be what would be on the checklist that you would um, ensure that people have during the holidays and in general, just navigating life for this
Hmm.
particular, especially for this particular season, that they can also use outside of the season.
Yeah. One thing is to basically have a support system. Have just at least one person, at
Okay.
least a safe space that you can check in with, that it's okay for you to have your emotions. It's okay for you to feel how you feel. We all need to sometimes have a friend or outside voice that is going to tell us, it's okay if you feel bad. No, you don't have to hold back and not cry. It is all right. you know we all need to have that. We all need to have that kind of encouragement. We all need to have that safety to be able to kind of go through those motions. Another thing that we need to have is um, we need to have an idea and understanding about what's going on with us. So a lot of times right now, people suffering from grief and loss, there's a lot of people who really don't know what depression looks like.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of folks really think that depression means that you have to be walking around thinking about dying all the time. Like you have to actively be in a space where you want to hurt yourself and you're thinking about just killing yourself kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is not how all depression shows itself in all situations. Yes, there are times where people get to that extreme to where that's a part of it. But a lot of times depression comes through in other ways that, we kind of mask and we chalk it up to other things. So irritability,
Okay.
when you're walking around and things just get on your nerves and you're just agitated and you're irritated, if you're trying to do something and somebody tries to stop you or
Mm-hmm.
ask you a question in the middle of it, you are annoyed, and most of the time when we're in the process, we don't feel it. It's not until somebody draws our attention to it. It's like, oh, okay, I'm doing too much. It's like, okay, I already went from 0 to 100 and it was nothing. It was really a simple thing. And I'm already irritated and argumentative, and
Yeah.
I'm agitated and I'm ready to fuss and cuss and all this other stuff. And it was a simple thing. Um, Another thing is our lack of desire um, to do anything. When
Okay.
you're struggling to be motivated, when you're struggling to get going, yeah, it's the holiday season. There's a whole lot of stuff happening. A lot of us, we work hard. We have times where we just need downtime.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes beyond just having regular downtime or just being tired on a normal basis. It is where I am really struggling to have motivation to do anything. The only
Mm-hmm.
things I'm doing is what I have to do. And I'm really not, I'm just showing up. I'm just trying to, walk myself through a little bit. Um, and it takes a lot of desire, effort to get up and get going. We lose, you lose desire or you lose interest in how you look, how you present to the world, things that are not typically you. You just don't care anymore. You
Mm-hmm.
know, when I went through my phase with in that state of depression for myself with grief, I didn't have a desire or interest to really get up and fix my hair or worry about doing anything and dressing up or doing anything. Really, just getting out of bed. So there was spaces where the clients who had been working with me prior was like, oh, you okay? And I'm like, I'm here, I'm all right. I'm showing up to sessions, my hair's not combed, I'm trying to be Erica Badu with a head wrap on and some earrings, trying to act like it's okay because the hair is not doing anything worth being seen. And I'm presenting out here as if I'm able to go, just to show up, just to try to hold space. But I wasn't really doing the care that I needed to for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a little bit of time for me to realize, like, okay, you're not doing yourself any service. You're not doing yourself any justice. So being able to say it's okay to not be okay, being able to say I am down and I don't feel good, I'm not happy, Um, I don't, I don't want to be around people singing. I don't want to be around people who are with their family members and their loved ones because I'm missing my loved ones, and I don't want to I don't want to see it. I don't want to try to even put on a fake smile. It's okay to say that, you know. Please stop telling people, "Oh, your loved one would want you to be sad." That's the last thing they want you to. That's the last thing they want to hear when they're upset, when they've experienced, especially a fresh loss. For
Mm-hmm.
you to tell them, "Oh, they wouldn't want you to be sad. You got to be strong." For them, they are gone. They transition on. You know, they aren't worried about you being sad.
Yeah.
I tell people to free my future family members and friends in the future for Pshanda. I tell everybody, I want you to be sad. I want you. Please. I want you to be sad. I want you to cry. I want you to pass out. I'm demanding that people show out for me. I want to know in the spirit world. I want to feel it that you are actually hurt by my absence because that's what that grief is.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
is you mourning the absence and the loss of that person. That is all this love and all this stuff that you had for somebody
Mm-hmm.
not having a place to go.